Peace, love, and light, people. What's up? Look, man. My content is for educational purposes only. Can't stress enough for you guys to do your own research. Appraise my content. Inform me of any errors you run across. None of us have lived long enough to know all that transpired in the past, and none of us can live long enough to know all there is to learn. Okay. What is worse than a slave that doesn't realize he or she is a slave? What do I mean? What do you mean by that, Malik? Let me tell you what I mean by that. First of all, you know, I'm somebody, man, that has studied various schools of thought. Um, and through my studies of said schools of thought, they have directed me to my culture, our culture. If you are able to get a natural tan and the sun doesn't, you know, how should I say this? If the sun doesn't basically hunt you, you know, if it helps you to produce vitamin D, then yes, you fit into the mold when I speak of our culture. Again, the truth owes no apologies or no explanations. So it's really, the truth, me talking truth on this John, on this channel, is not me taking a shot at somebody that doesn't fit into the criteria when I say our culture. So, I'm not responsible for how you take that. So anyway, back to it. The research and the studies that I've done in the various subject matters that I've studied has led me to our culture. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. Right there. You understand what I'm saying? So basically, when I say what's worse than a slave that does not know or is not aware that he or she is a slave, I'm speaking about those who have taken on other cultures, customs, and ways at the expense of their own. What do you mean by that, Malik? Let me get into it. What I mean by that is this. If anybody that's watching this video, if you have any foundational knowledge of our culture, then you know certain actions and behaviors are not our way. You understand what I'm saying? Certain things that people do, it's not hard to see where they pick them up from. Even if they pick them up from their parents, where did their parents learn it from? Because if you want to talk about, okay, let's go with the music first. In the early 90s, around 1991, the music industry spent millions of dollars into the private prison industrial complex. As a result of that, the music took a massive decline in substance. They actually also changed the uh, the harmonic frequency of the music from a 432 to a 440. You know, they understand well. You know, I made reference in a couple videos to the water experiment. If we embody the capabilities and the capacity to change the molecular structure of water with just our thoughts, ideas, you know, music, the vibrational frequency of your voice once projected with emotional attachment to, think about a healthy adult male or woman, male or female, roughly 70% water. Think about Mother Gaia. As far as we know, you know, because we're not able to go to, what is that? Antarctica, you know, planes and aerial vehicles are unable to fly over the poles. You understand what I'm saying? You know, they basically got everything in society lock, stocked, and barrel. You know, can't argue with that. You know. Anyway, getting back to it, they know what music does. So, you know, when you talk about as within, so without, anything you take in has to come out. So if you taking in a bunch of negativity, then what do you expect to come out? If you're around a bunch of negative, hating ass, jealous ass, envious ass, or just plain derogatory in nature types of individuals, and you don't extricate yourself or remove yourself from those energies, then you're going to eventually start, you know, interacting, you know, and participating in those energies. Anything that don't penetrate ricochet, and everything that don't ricochet penetrates. So if you don't move yourself away from it or keep them type of individuals the fuck out your face and out of your energy, your auric field, then you taking that shit in. So guess what's got to come out? Exactly. So these are just, you know, I'm building up to a point. You know, basically, man, when you around a bunch of gossiping ass motherfuckers, you know, always got something to say about somebody else and the shit ain't positive, you know. Come on, man. You know, it's a saying. You know, I believe it's actually a hadith as well. It says you want to know the content of a man's character, look to his friends. You know, because if you're around somebody for a majority of time or an extended length of time, somebody's energy is going to be dominant, thereby leaving one or the other to be influenced by the other. Whoever's energy is dominant is going to influence the other if they continue to be around each other for any length of time. So, you know, when it comes to the way on a collective level, we divided, man. There's no togetherness. There's no uniformity and synchronicity amongst the Aboriginal people. Cause ain't no such thing as African American. Negro, black, and colored, all that's bullshit. We understand, those that know. You know, if you was born here, you can't be an African American, number one. Negro, just a label that was placed upon us and we accepted. Black, same thing, however, it has an adage. It's a legal term. Social engineering tactic. White, that's another legal status. Because we not crayons. Shout out to Taj Tariq Bey. We not fucking crayons. You either Irish, German, British, European, Italian, whatever. You have an ethnic background. White does not you see what they did was they made white encompass all, come on, man. Those are no. Do some research. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, those of us that are Aboriginals, our bloodlines filter back to those that were here when Christopher Columbus and the boys, who had African, guides to assist them in not getting, you understand? I mean, they had to learn how to circumnavigate from somebody, because the shit was being done prior to their doing so. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, to bring it full circle, when you look at us on a collective level, man, it's not hard for anybody to infiltrate us. Even back in the 60s and the 70s, when we were at our in most recent history, we were at our height of togetherness. They were still able to infiltrate. So, I mean, like, what is worse than a slave that doesn't realize he or she is a slave? It's somebody that don't know who the fuck they are, don't know what the fuck they come from, don't know their ancestors' cultures and ways. They know other people's ancestors' cultures and ways. The problem with that is their ancestors are the main ones that had a foot up our fucking ass. So, I mean, and mind you, man, I don't really, I'm passionate about this, but I don't really have an emotional, tie to it. The truth is just gonna be there. I don't give a fuck because you don't like it. That's why I had to get up off of Facebook, man. I had about 20 motherfucking 90-day violations for talking that truth unapologetically. And this ain't to bash nobody else. This ain't about that, man. This is about those Aboriginals that lack this information. You understand? Because they're not teaching us shit in school. And in college, they only teaching you what they need for you to know to fulfill a job description that they need filled in order to continue the machine that is commerce running. And when I look at shit, like, on a mass. First of all, I look at things in more than one. I look at things, in more than one perspective, first of all. But, you know, when you look at things on a political level, what do? Anybody that's not willing to play ball the way they want to play ball, here come the sanctions. They're going to stop your money. They're going to stop, international trade. You know, they're going to starve you, you know, and or make up a Ponzi scheme to come and fuck you up. You know, it just is what it is. So, like, and what I see personally is a bunch of motherfuckers following that model. I mean, to each their own. You're gonna do what you do anyway, regardless of the fuck I say. But at the end of the day, you know, it needs to be known, what's really good. Because I mean, this is just surface level shit, though, man. This is just, me making a point, to us. Why? It reminds me of that speech that Malcolm. Who taught you to hate yourself? Because we didn't always do this. You know, the average joker, all they know is what they was taught in school about their heritage. It leaves you lacking if that's all you know. No disrespect to the individuals that they do make mention of in Black History Month. Whatever the fuck that is. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, to get back to it though, in my opinion, a slave that don't know he's a slave is somebody that has taken on somebody else's, mentality, and they're pushing and projecting that mentality onto those, especially that look like them. But their asshole get tight and their back get straight, when they're around, a Caucasian. But you just as nasty and disrespectful, and non-caring when you're dealing with somebody that look like you. There you go. To me, that's a slave that don't know they're a motherfucking slave. You know? That's that slave mentality. Steven, Django, in the big house. Yeah, that motherfucker. Yup. Just as nice. And they make sure not to cross the line when dealing with massa. But another motherfucker that look just like you, another individual. Let me tighten up on that. I gotta remember that I'm on a platform. You know, I gotta clean it up to a degree. But at the end of the day, y'all feel me. Anybody that's watching, I know y'all feel me, man. Because personally, man, I'm just so tired. I'm sick and tired of, you know, I used to make mention of this, before I even changed my life in the penitentiary. You got a bunch of, motherfuckers that's going at everybody neck, until the CO come. Then you just as nice, just as docile, you know. Come on, man. Even when the motherfucking CO get out of line, you ain't got the testicular fortitude to check him. But you a gorilla with everybody on the tier. Not everybody, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. You feel me? And I mean, and I can't respect that. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna respect that. You know what I mean? Um, I know it's a lot of people. Who the fuck he think he is? I'm just me, all day, every day. Whether I'm walking and catching the bus, whether I'm driving something, whether I got a fucking dime in the bank or nothing to my name, I'm gonna be me, regardless. You know. So like, when it comes to the subject matter of this video, man, what is worse than a slave that doesn't know he's a slave? I don't know. You tell me. Put it in the comments. But I think that's worse than an actual slave that's cognizant of the fact that he or she is a slave. Because when you don't know, you know what I mean? You don't see any fault in what you're doing. You don't even have the you're not even able to recognize, you know, that these actions are not your own. This is that shit that I've been depicting in this. That's not our fucking way. It's not our way, man. That ain't what we come from. That's not who we come from. Yet this is all the majority of us seem to know. You know. At the end of the day, man, the beauty in having your own platform, you can say what the fuck you want to say. And it's up to those that's on looking to either fuck with it or not. I'm cool whichever way you decide to deal with it, player. But at the end of the day, on this platform, you're going to get it raw. You're going to get what it's supposed to be. To the best of my knowledge, and capabilities. You know, shaking a man's hand or giving the man a little, dap hug. Then soon the man he don't get to turn around good. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Disingenuousness. If you don't fuck with a man, don't fuck with a man. You know what I mean? Again, man, I done been in certain environments, man, where the respect level is at an all-time high because if you violate somebody, that's about your ass. ASAP. No rap. About your ass. Ain't nobody coming to save you. You ain't gonna be able to call no motherfucking body, all that. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know, man. Don't get it fucked up. It's like what Mobb Deep said on the Infamous album. I know I can get, robbed, shot, stabbed, beat the fuck up, just like the next man. You know what I mean? It is what it is. We all eat, bleed, sleep, and shit, man. But at the end of the day, man, sometimes, man, certain shit just need to be put out there, man. Certain truths need to be said. It's like, one of the main reasons why I respect Malcolm so much. Those that don't know me on a personal level, he was an inspiration to me. I read his autobiography in '96 down Smyrna on F-Tier, and that's what led me to stealing the dictionary, one of the best ones I found in the law library. And I expounded on my vocabulary, man. You couldn't say a word around me that I didn't understand without me stopping you. Oh, what that mean? What's that word? What? Okay, yeah. And I would make sure I wrote that motherfucker down so I could revert back to the dictionary and get the definition and incorporate that word. So that way, whenever I read that word or heard that word, I would understand what it meant. And I would start utilizing that word so I wouldn't sound the way I once did. Even on this channel, y'all hear me, that word, I say that a lot. Here you go. But at the end of the day, I do embody the capacity to do this. My big ass head. I embody the capacity to do this. You feel me? Yeah. Give a presentation with a suit and tie on. Yeah. You know, and it's only because I seen fault. I didn't feel comfortable with just being able to speak on a eubonic level. Don't make me no better than nobody else. But at the end of the day, like I said on other videos, man, I've always wanted better for me. You know, and one of the main intents behind me putting these kinds of videos out, man, because I know I ain't the only joker running around that want better for theyself. But you can't overlook the little things, man. The little things turn into big things. And the little things left unchecked allow things to become unmanageable. Been there. Yeah, man. It ain't much I ain't been through. So I pretty much can relate. To damn near anybody. On top of being empathic. Joker ain't got to tell me how they feel about me. I ain't got to hear you talking about me. You understand? I read energy, player. The vibe. Some of us are sensitive enough whereas though we can tap in. But I just, I urge anybody watching this video, man, that, look yourself in the mirror, man, when it comes to this type shit, man. The gossiping, and always talking down on the next individual, man. Like, don't you have anything better to do with your time? Do you have to do what the majority of people is doing with your life? Are you not your own individual? Do you not have your own mind? Are you not capable of utilizing your own mind? Don't you have your own 2 feet that's holding your weight? When they say standing on your own 2, it's more than figurative. A whole lot more than figurative, man. So all that said to say, man, don't, come on, man, be yourself. Be who you are. If you don't know who that is, take a step back from the bullshit and the monotony of the everyday shit, if you're capable of, if you have the wherewithal, and learn who you are. Learn who you are, man. Learn about the chakra system, man, because if your chakras are clogged up, just think about a river. You got the rocks and shit in the river. Just imagine that if you had 7, portions of that river, and like you get one of those or 2 of those portions in that river that are clogged and blocked, water can't flow. That water's going to become stagnant and go stale. Then you have all kind of disease that kicks in. These are the energy centers, the energy vortexes in the body, man. You got to keep that energy fluent and moving. You see what I'm saying? Learn how to let go of some shit, man. Whatever you holding on to, man. Because a lot of times, man, what we see on the surface has nothing to do with what's really bothering an individual or what really ails an individual. 98.9% of the time, it's something way more deep-rooted than what we see at the surface. But ego plays a part, reputation and all that. Well, I got a reputation to live up to. Okay, that's fine, you know. But are you being real with yourself in upholding that reputation? You know, because I'm gonna tell you now, if you ain't never been in a life and death situation, I ain't saying that nobody has, but what I'm saying is, like, you know, say you in front of that judge and you don't know if you ever gonna see the streets again, or you have a near death experience. You know, where you know that veil get lifted and you get to see some other shit, or you really think it's about to be over. Think about Think about if you were in a situation like that. What would be more important to you at those times? Because I promise you, and bet you everything I'm worth, that those are the only important things that matter to you in your life. Not all this extra bullshit that you know, carrying on with and perpetrating. I mean, you know, if it don't fit, don't make it fit. But you know, if this resonates with you on any level, man, take what applies to you and deal with it, man. It's only going to better you. It's only going to better you as a person on an internal level, so that way it can start showing in your external existence. You feel me? It's just some things to take a look at, man. You know, and it's really not, you know, to bash nobody or to try to, you know, make somebody seen, you know, be seen in a lesser than, you know, satisfactory light. It ain't about that, man. It's about the real deal. You know? It's about the life force that's within you, the soul. If you're not tending to that, all that other shit it can come and go like that. But what's eternal? How often do you spend, how much time do you spend dealing with that individual? That part of yourself. Don't be like some others, you know, that when the curtains is closing, then you realize it, because it's too late then, bruh. It's too late then, sis. You know, I've said it before, you know, but I felt it's important for me to reiterate because, you know, some of these things, man, you know, that I'm speaking about, man, they're an issue, man. They are a lot of the things that has held us back. You know, you can't trust a motherfucker, you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, you know, people show you who they are, you have no choice but to believe it. You know? But at the end of the day, man, you know, just look at it. I look at things like this. How much further advanced could we be on a collective level? On a world stage, even. If we could just get past our petty bullshit ass differences, you know, with each other. You know, look at the sisters, man. The sisters, man, I don't fuck with them bitches. I don't fuck with bitches. Man, shit, them bitches ain't. Okay, not to say that you don't have a good excuse, sis. But at the end of the day, man, we wasn't always like that, man. Wasn't always like that, man. You know, and society has a lot to do with it, man. Society. Because people actually determine what goes on in society, what information is put out to society. Whether you believe that shit or not, people control that. If you have yet to look it up, the United States government is a fucking company. It's no different than, you know, what's that? Any company or corporation you can think of. Fucking 7-Eleven. You know, Wawa, Rural Farms, BP, Gulf Gas, any fucking, you know what I mean? It's a company, man. Because nations don't have presidents. Come on, man. You know, we you know, I mean, and I'm not looking down on nobody that don't know these things. I didn't always think how I think today. I didn't always act the way I act today, and I didn't always know what I know today. This is an informational platform, man. You know, I ain't worrying about being all politically correct all the time, man, cuz life ain't that way. Real life. You know, I ain't puckering up my ass cheeks for nobody. You know, what you see, yeah, is what you get. Yeah. Some people are up to no good. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like, you know, I just urge. I would like to see, man. You know, and this is just me, man. I would like to see how life could be, man, if we actually unified and came together. You know, and started supporting one another, practicing group economics. You know, dealing with our bullshit, petty, low vibrational ass issues to move past and beyond. You know, I would love to see that. You know, some people say it'll never happen. You know, maybe it'll never happen in our lifetime. Who's to say? But at the end of the day, whether it happens or not in our lifetime, what are you going to do with yours? In yours? You know, are you going to keep running from, you know, the inner nudges that you get from yourself? You know, or are you going to keep, you know, following the motherfucking status quo, what everybody doing, you know, or keeping up whatever facade to be accepted, you know, and it might only stem from ego. It might not be none of that other shit, you know. But at the end of the day, man, you know, at the end of the day, like I say, man, you know, to thyself, be true, man. You know, you owe it to yourself to be authentic to yourself. You know, otherwise, man, you know, you gotta be alright with whatever outcome come down. You get what I'm saying? You know, because again, man's law ain't the only law. You know, and for real, that ain't even the law I'm worried about. You know, that any of us should be worried about. You know, what about the mother laws? What about that universal law? What about the spiritual laws? You know, so hey man, you know, it's been a pleasure as always, man. You know, and I appreciate y'all. You know, those that do watch. You know, it's been a pleasure. You know, to chop it up with y'all for a minute, man. You know, hopefully, you know, somebody was able to, you know, extract benefit from, you know, what I had to say. And hopefully, you know, that this was able to resonate with some people, man. You know, because I know I'm not the only person that see the shit I see, that view shit the way I view shit, and that understand things on the level I understand things. You know, but regardless of whether people do or not, man, I'm gonna handle my own shit. You know, and I'm gonna be from the perspective I know I need to be from, you know, to benefit, you know, in my own individual life and to you know, prosper, you know. So with that being stated, man, you know, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's evening, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.